I'm Scott, and I'm going to be showing you today how you can get secure remote access and security with IPTL's SuperNAC and IPShare trust and control features. Not only will I explain the how and why of IPShare, but I'll show you a real demonstration of IPShare and its security in action. Let's get some background on IPTL first. I want to show you where we're going to end up. We're going to end up with a full-blown end-to-end connectivity demonstration showing protection of both the local and remote networks. I'll be focusing heavily on IP cameras as it is an extremely fast-growing segment of the physical security IT space. But keep in mind that our connectivity and security works for access control, alarm panels, or any other type of fixed application OT devices. A quick bit about us. We are the designers, we are the manufacturer. We design, we build, we ship. It's our stuff, our code. We also have many patents on our innovations with a few more coming out this year as well. And we have a couple of awards under our belt. We've been a global centric company from day one, which is great because that allows us really to take industry knowledge from all over and incorporate that into our solutions. Here is the market we are addressing and what we are doing to support that market. You'll hear me talk a lot about IP cams and access control, but what we're really talking about is fixed application devices. These are devices you can't add a client to, change the firmware. What you get from the manufacturer is what you get. You have to deal with configurations, but you can't change the operation of the device. And we'll talk more about this later. We are not just a VPN and actually go way beyond secure remote access. What we actually do is provide that most secure, reliable connectivity end-to-end, and now with SuperNAC, secure against snooping, spoofing, and tampering. Here's a snapshot of our product line today. We offer appliances that range from small dongles to appliances with integrated cellular to large capacity servers running in virtual environments or in popular cloud services like Amazon AWS and Azure. Also, all of our appliances are fully managed via out-of-band management system. Also, our appliances are compatible with each other and they all can run IPShare. So you can mix and match as your application is requiring. Our social proof is really strong, and we are proud that customers are very happy with us. And as you can see by some of the names on here, that we work across a wide range of verticals, from education to healthcare to airlines to security. Here's a quick snapshot of what we do. Many people know us simply as the world's longest Ethernet cable. But why us? Well, we work with dynamic IP, private IP, behind NATs and firewalls. We integrate failover and multipath redundancy. Your data is always between your appliances. It never goes through somebody else's cloud server or our cloud server. Your data association is always between your IPTL appliances, and this is a very important point. And now with SuperNAC, you can control your connections of what has access over those links. Only IPTL has these 10 exclusive features. Most are patent or patent pending, and these are what give you that connectivity end to end. We ensure your data is safe, reliable, and secure. We integrate the secure remote access with the network traffic flow control and trust with integrated network access control. So let's jump in and define the challenges that are in the marketplace today. First of all, what has changed? Well, what has changed is that in the old days, and I mean like 10 years ago, everything had an RS-232 port on it. Now everything has an Ethernet port and is internet enabled. This is what is called OT, or operational technology, is all about. And really what this means is the endpoint is now the network. And what really causes problems in this is that these devices expect to be online all the time and often behave very badly when they don't have the connectivity that it expects to have. But today, what is called connectivity or internet access can actually break your networking. Pesky things like dynamic IP, NAT, nested NAT, firewalls can make this very difficult or even impossible. One of the challenges is that fixed application devices, they're not web apps. You can't just put an app on the device. That's great for an iPhone or an Android, but how are you going to do that with a badge reader? It's one of my favorite sayings is that there are no printers in the cloud. There's always some physical thing that needs to get networked together, and you need to make that work with the environment that you have. Now, there are two big problems. They are end-to-end connectivity and security. So let's look first at the connectivity issue. So here is a basic remote access application. And the question is how do I get access to that remote IP camera? The first thing you're going to notice is the remote site and the head-end networks clash. This is what's called the overlapping IP issue. You simply can't have two networks with the same address space. You may better recognize this when you have many sites with all the same address space, like 192.168.0, for example. The first problem is how you're going to get connectivity. VPN, buy another router, add VPN licenses to your firewall, create new routes, VLANs. What happens if you can't change the remote router or the firewall guy won't let you change his production system for you? Then, how do you protect your head-end network from the unseen remote users? And if you do have an overlapping IP address problem, what can you do? Renumber all the networks? Will the remote admin even allow that? Is it even practical? Now let's look at the security challenges. First off, firewall access control lists or ACLs may give you the appearance of security, but they will actually leave you at risk. ACLs may limit access to a device like an IP camera, but if someone spoofs or hijacks that camera or comes in through a back door, you're vulnerable. And just look at some of the news about hacking IP cams, and I grabbed these off the internet the other day. And I'm not picking on Dawa or Hikvision, but look at the OEM list for Hikvision. They're one of the largest OEMs of IP cameras. And when you OEM a camera, you also OEM the security risks. And there's some big names on that list too, like Interlogix and Stanley and Panasonic. So let's see how we can provide both the connectivity and mitigate or even prevent security problems with our SuperNAC feature set. Now, we are rolling out our SuperNAC Zero Trust Conditional Access Control features as a real solution to the challenges of connectivity and security. SuperNAC tightly integrates the connectivity with the identity-based security for trust and control. And only IPTL integrates device state and authentication into dynamic access control lists. We have a suite of features under SuperNAC, but I'm going to briefly introduce a couple of those here, and then we're going to get into the IPShare and then the demo. So one of the features you're going to see rolling out here shortly is our Trust Cert ACL. Now, most NAC solutions want you to install a client on the device. And again, that's great for a PC or a phone, but it's not going to work for your IP camera, for example. Other passive fingerprinting techniques aren't 100% locked down. You can still spoof the network behavior of that device. Our solution is a patent-pending feature that will actually go out and grab the X509 cert from the device, use that to authenticate the device, and then activate go, no-go, block, unblock ACLs so that device can go talk to the head-end network. Now you can have certainty that the remote device that you're talking to hasn't been tampered, spoofed, or swapped out. Now we also do have a passive device fingerprinting module in our SuperNAC suite, but it doesn't only just scan for open ports, but it also analyzes network behavior of that device. So we can take that information, create a profile of the device, and then apply block and permit ACLs for the network traffic. And one of the things that you can do with all of these features is layer them up. So security is about layers. And so you can add different tools in the SuperNAC toolkit to get to your business policy and mitigate your risk. So with the Trust ACL interface profile, we can create go, no-go profiles based on port and interface status. And this is actually really powerful because when you want to provide anti-tamper on a remote device, the device would actually directly connect to the IPTL appliance. And if it gets unplugged, is shut down, an alert is sent to the management server, the port is actually blocked down so that there's no data that will go through. And we can combine that then again with some of the other features so that you can actually really have a determination of what that device state is. Is it secure, and is it the device I think I'm talking to? I just want to take a quick moment and show you how you can deal with appliances that somebody may steal or take home. We get asked this question quite often and say, what do you do if somebody walks away with the box? Well, you have the capability to either revoke the connectivity or brick the appliance. So revoking connectivity, you click a button on the management interface and it stops all data from transferring between the device. Now the device is still alive and will operate, and you can always unrevoke that. For example, if you lost a device and then refound it again, you could always put the credentials back and have the connectivity back. If you brick an appliance, and this is what you do if it's stolen, it actually just wipes out the keys inserts, and at that point it becomes useless, or in what we call a brick. So let's focus now on the IPShare component of SuperNAC. Now, IPShare provides access-oriented, connection-tracked segmentation and allows you to effectively separate and control your networks, the remote network from the head end. SuperNAC IPShare is a feature license that you can add to any IPTL appliance. And let's take a look and see how this works. IPShare provides the segmentation between the remote and head-end networks, and along with our secure remote access or tunnel, IPShare provides local network interfaces and tunnel or head-end interfaces. This removes the requirement for configuring any routers or adding any routes to hosts on either end of the network. Plus, you can configure then which traffic will traverse between the networks. Also, if you notice, we are not required to be installed in an enclaved type architecture where we are in line with the whole network. In other words, we won't be a choke point for the normal network operations, and we're very end-to-end oriented. So here are the major components of IPShare. You've got a tunnel to the head end. We integrate the networks on the local LAN as well as the head end, as well as the tunnel interface. And then we have active connectivity forwarding, limiting access to the remote device from the head end. And for security, we have the connection track dynamic go-no-go switching that allows pinpoint data flow at the host and application level. So we're not exposing the entire network. So let's walk through a little schematic here, and then we're going to show you a live demo of this actually in operation. First off, let's look at operator number 3 there. So he's a user, and he wants to see a stream coming from that IP camera at number 5. And so he opens up his application. Now his application will actually point to the IPShare interface on the IPTL appliance. And the IPTL appliance will then forward it to the camera. When it does make this forward, it also opens up a return path to the host and application for just that connection. And this is where we get into the connection-based tracking. So the IP camera can now only talk back to the user and his requesting application. The ACL just doesn't open up the camera completely to the whole network. And this is really important because even if there is a backdoor on that camera or somebody's spoofing it, they can't swim upstream through the tunnel and get access to the head-end network. So now let's take a look and see this in live action. Let's see IPShare in action with remote IP camera streaming and protection from unauthorized remote network access. What we have here is a basic network diagram. We've got my laptop at 10.9.13.16 on the head-end network, and it's connected via a tunnel through an IPTL appliance. And that appliance is installed as a stub behind the router here on a private network, and that network is the 192.168.50 network. And also on that network is a laptop at .250 and an IP cam at .10. So let's get some packets flowing and show some connectivity here. First thing I'm going to do is I'm going to stream from this IP camera onto this laptop. So this screen is that 250 laptop, and I'm going to start a stream here, and you're going to see an uninteresting picture of me doing this presentation. This is actually the 250 laptop right here. I'm also going to start a ping to my .16 laptop, and that means it's pinging from this 250 on the private network through the tunnel all the way accessing my laptop here at .16. That may not be so desired, but we're going to address that here shortly. Now let's turn our attention to my laptop at .16. I'm going to start a remote stream here, and I'm also going to start a ping to that laptop. So this is actually pinging through the tunnel all the way to that laptop. So I've got bidirectional pings going on, and now I've got local and remote video all happening simultaneously. That's great. Everything's connected. But from a security perspective, that may not be exactly what you want, and I'll show you why. I'm going to go back to the 250 laptop, and I'm going to open up an IP scanner. It's going to scan a range of IPs. And the first range I'm going to scan is going to be its local address space, right? And if I hit start on that, all the things show up that we expect. The router, the IP camera, the laptop, the IPTL appliance, all good. But what if I were up to some mischief and I want to see what's on the head-end network? I want to scan and see what hosts are up there. Well, I could easily take my IP scanner, put in that range, and I'm going to hit start. And look, it discovers all of the hosts through the tunnel on the head-end network. That is not desirable at all. How do we fix that? Well, we're going to go to the web interface of this device here, and we're going to enable the SuperNAC IPShare features. So this is the actual web interface of that device, and you'll notice on the ribbon bar here we have the SuperNAC function, and that's actually telling you that the license is installed and available. Now under Tunnel IPShare, this section will appear, and this is where we do our connection-based access control. And what we're going to do is we're actually going to block outgoing traffic. That's traffic trying to leave the remote network and egress the tunnel into the head-end network. And by the way, if you're ever curious and want to know what that feature, how it operates, or the function, you could always just hover and it'll pop up with some online help. Now we can see here that it's set for allow outgoing traffic. And so that's what's allowing everything to talk to each other. Well, we're going to go block that. Now I'm going to submit that. And while that tears down the tunnel and puts in those rules, we're going to see a couple things. One, this is going to drop. The video here is going to drop for a second until the tunnel gets reestablished. But you're going to notice over here on the 250, this is that remote PC, it can't ping my laptop anymore. Well, that's good. That's a good sign. Now we notice that we've got still the local video working. You notice now that the remote video is working as well, and the pings to that laptop are still good. So the laptop itself can't ping, but I can ping it and it will respond. This is showing you that there's a pinpoint connection only end-to-end for those requested head-end connections to the remote devices. And this is what you want. If I come back over to my IP scanner and I try to scan the head-end network again and I hit start, nothing, which is exactly what we want. It is completely blocked except for connections initiated from the head end. Now I'm going to put that back. I'm going to take that out. So right now you can see that it says the current state is blocking outgoing traffic. Well, I'm going to remove that. So I'm going to submit that, and it's going to go update that. And what you're going to see is this is going to drop. The video is going to drop for a second, and then it's going to come back, and you'll see the pings here. But notice this. Now the pings on that laptop start working again. And if I rescan the head-end network, I can see everything at the head-end network again. And then the video comes back, and we've got both local and remote video with the pings happening. And that is IPShare with SuperNAC in action. Pretty amazing stuff. IPShare solves problems that the firewalls just simply can't handle. We block and segment at the application and connection level, not just at the network level, and this helps keep the vulnerability and the risk profile very low. Plus, there's no need to mess with the remote router or remote network configurations, including having to renumber overlapping or conflicting IP network address spaces. And you get full security to prevent somebody from swimming upstream that is unauthorized onto your head-end network. Only IPTL can give you that end-to-end secure remote access with our armored tunnel and encrypted tunnel for data in motion. We give you the link protection and reliability with integrated multipath, multi-site redundancy, and integrated network access control for unsurpassed network security for IoT. And IPShare adds to the rich list of solutions where IPTL can deliver you the most cost-effective, reliable connectivity and security for IP cams, access control, and alarm panels in all of your OT devices. Plus, it's the price performance leader and includes the industry's best support. So if you've got any questions about IPShare or any applications you want to discuss, please reach out to us. We also have a YouTube channel where we're putting up these videos that show you how-tos and technical discussions. And we also have our Fastlane forum at Doc Central where you can go in and get app notes, marketing info, user guide info, things of that nature. Thank you again for your time. This concludes our webinar. Please drop me an email if you would like to see a demo or have any questions, and look forward to seeing you next time. Have a great day.